Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It is exactly 12 after 9 o'clock. And that, of course, is Central African time. We are now crossing over to Afghanistan, where we'll be talking with Hafiz Hassan Chunara, hard at work as always. And he is Regional Director of Africa Muslim Agencies. And we're going to be hearing about how it is that they once again hard at work helping people in Afghanistan. And I think these were the post-earthquake victims. But together with Hafiz Hassan Chunara, we understand that there is another representative with him, and that is Dr. Mu'in Salih. Assalamu alaikum to both you brothers. Welcome to the program.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Jolly. Shukran for having us on Salam Media. Almost midday in Afghanistan, and we're now early part of the morning in South Africa.
Okay, so where exactly are you? I see you're surrounded by a whole host of very excited children, and I should imagine the excitement is due to the fact that you guys have come in with much needed aid. Hassan, did you get my message? Hassan, are you there? Okay, that picture has just frozen. Let's see if we can reconnect with Hafiz Hassan Chunara. They are in Afghanistan together with Africa Muslim Agency's representative, Dr. Mu'in Salih. They are in Afghanistan to assist families affected by the earthquake in Herat province. We are trying to reconnect, and inshallah we will get a clearer picture. Let's go for a quick ad break whilst we're trying to reconnect, inshallah.
Bordering the Kruger National Park, as a guest at Buckler's Africa Lodge, one can enjoy an amazing sunrise or sunset on our spacious deck area while you catch a glimpse of some wildlife sightings along the Crocodile River. The sounds of the African savannah will greet you whilst you enjoy your morning coffee. Buckler's Africa Lodge by Tingana Collection. Buckler's Africa Lodge is ideally situated only 6 kilometers from the Crocodile Bridge Gate in the Kruger National Park. Catering for all travelers with variety, we have 4 types of the finest rooms: superior rooms, deluxe suites, and 2-bedroomed family units. Each room is equipped with the finest amenities to make your stay unforgettable. Guests can choose between the self-catering option or book their accommodation with breakfast and dinner included. Buckler's Africa Lodge is your ideal location for the ultimate Kruger getaway experience. We specialize in exhilarating and educational game drives in Kruger, tailor-made to suit your family. Inquire about our various accommodation offerings and other activities. Visit www.tingana.co.za for more information. Buckler's Africa Lodge by Tingana Collection. Experience the pulse of Africa with us.
Education, health, dignity, empowerment. These wishes all begin with water. Africa Muslims Agency is committed to providing clean water to the thousands who still live without this basic human right. Support us in giving the best of charities. Provide a water well for 14,800 Rand or a borehole for 49,500 Rand in Afghanistan or 55,000 Rand in Africa. Gain Thawabi Jariyah and help communities to reach their full potential. Africa Muslims Agency, empowering, educating, inspiring.
Kids these days are smart, and when you're competing for their attention against their smartphones, you need to make smart choices, like using Sunfoil triple refined pure sunflower oil in every meal you make. It's naturally cholesterol-free and approved by the Heart and Stroke Foundation as part of a balanced eating plan. So whether you're cooking, frying, or baking, you get the great tasting results that'll get their attention faster than the latest app. And if that doesn't work, change the Wi-Fi password. Sunfoil. Now we're cooking.
Shimmer, sparkle, captivate. Nothing less than a masterpiece. Droplets of gold inspires precious design. Platinum bursts with intricate freshness. And every pure diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. Come to us. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and freezer card calculation. Visit us at 534 Ridge Road, Overport, or call 031 208 9142. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, manufacturers of fine gold and diamond jewelry.
Salam Media, a global voice for humanity.
I am deeply, deeply disturbed at this forum that is going to happen and that South Africa is going to host it. I'm deeply disturbed that our government cannot make the distinction between what one might call normal circumstances and extraordinary circumstances. I do not know what is more extraordinary in our world right now than the genocidal war that is continuing and that is ratcheting up itself every single day.
Dr. Alan Busak, he's an anti-apartheid activist.
This is Salam Media. Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to the program. We're trying one more time to reconnect with Hafiz Hassan Chunara, Regional Director of African Muslim Agencies, and with him today, inshallah, also Dr. Mu'in Saleh, an AMA representative. Assalamu alaikum, brothers. Welcome to the program.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Now, I do know that you guys...
Mr. Jolie, shukran for having us.
Absolute pleasure. You're surrounded by a whole lot of excited kids, and I'm sure they're surrounding you because they know the purpose of your visit. Alhamdulillah. Tell us exactly where in Herat province are you, and what does that zone actually look like? Has the earthquake actually destroyed their infrastructure, and are they in a very, in a desperate situation, so to speak?
So we're just back at our office in Kabul, and obviously we have a number of the orphan children with us here. We have an art exhibition, a lot of the artifacts that are made by the orphans, and we have an exhibition. So we returned from Herat province yesterday, and to answer your question, Sister Julie, it has flattened villages. There isn't an inhabitant in the villages whose house is still standing. Sad to say, because of the damage to the villages, many people have lost loved ones. Some of them breadwinners have lost their lives, and some children are now left orphaned. Over 13 villages, or maybe even more. You would think of a village deep in the rural areas of Herat province, between the mountains, between the valleys. You get a land perhaps taking you back in time, where you get homes made out of mud, grass, and stone. And the earthquake has completely flattened these villages. And I mean completely flattened. There isn't a standing home or a home that you could stay in or rebuild in. And people are now living in makeshift tents. And Herat province and around Afghanistan, winter is about to set in, and the temperatures are starting to drop, especially in the valley areas. Those people, the elderly, telling us they fear the bitter cold because the temperatures are already dropping and they're staying in makeshift areas. So the children you see before us are, like I said, young, beautiful orphan children who are spending the day with us here at our office. These children make artifacts. Some of them, obviously, their talent, they're showcasing their talent, they draw, but also some of them would sell these items to bring income in the home. And so we're spending the day with them to acknowledge their talents, which is obviously bring benefit to their families. And also some of this will bring back home to South Africa, where the donors in South Africa could purchase some of these items.
Inshallah. Dr. Mu'in Saleh, is this the first time that you are on an aid mission and on the ground? If so, how's your experience been? Have you been really moved by what you see there and makes you want to carry on doing this type of work to touch lives in a positive way, inshallah?
So, Sister Julie, to answer your first question, it's the second time that I've come out. I was fortunate enough to go to Lebanon last year, and we visited lots of homes and in Lebanon. This is my first time in Afghanistan, and yes, definitely each visit is unique and each visit touches one's heart, and it just encourages you yourself and as well as to encourage others to reach out and to actually try to change these lives, the lives of these orphans. So these orphans, these kids that you see in front of us with the bright smiles and full of joy, these are kids who have been sponsored. And they have now
Okay.
come, it's a very proud moment for them. They have come to exhibit the artworks that they have done. And really, I've walked through the exhibition and there's some really, really stunning pieces of art. And this is a really proud and joyous moment for them. And when you see these kids like this, and when you have been, like we have been, to visit homes where kids are in absolute despair, families are in despair, they have no idea of knowing where their next meal is coming from. Some of them have not eaten for 2 days, relying solely on scraps that are given to them by neighbors and people in the neighborhood. So, to see kids and to be surrounded by kids like this, full of joy and smiles, it just shows one what contribution can do and how it can change a life.
Alhamdulillah. Hassan Chinara, to you, what's the current mood like of the people in Afghanistan in general?
Well, Alhamdulillah, I had the opportunity of coming a number of times, and over the last 4 or 5 years, you can see the change. And if I can break the question further, Sister Julie, one is, for example, like Doctor mentioned, the mood of the orphans that we met perhaps a number of years ago, and the mood when you see them now. Now, when they have sponsorship, you can see them happy, bubbly, joyous, have goals, dreams, aspirations. And compared to the children that you still see in the villages and across Afghanistan, those who don't have any sponsorship, you'd see it very sad, tearful, emotional, no vision, no drive. Children just want to be kids, but they have to leave their homes and leave school and leave their dreams to fend for their families. Mothers have to walk out on the streets or do domestic chores to food for the family. So, in terms of the humanitarian space, the difference between the happy home and the blissful and the sad home is those happy children, these very children. If you had to see them a number of years ago, they were obviously quite emotional and traumatic, but now they're happy, they're blissful, they're confident, and the physical appearance is much more different. But in terms of the mood of the public of Afghanistan itself, it's a country with the means that it has, it's progressing, and people are obviously believing in the future in Afghanistan. Obviously, there's a lot that needs to be done. Afghanistan, we know, has been affected by 4 decades of conflict. A majority of the population in need. It's evident when you go to the bakeries and you see professionals who have jobs standing in the lines for bread, which is at least some sort of meal at the home that tells you of the dire situation of Afghanistan. Outside, yes, here you see happy children, but behind these walls and behind the mountains and in the villages, Sister Julie and to the viewers, there are children who are going hungry. There are children who have not eaten for days. There are mothers who are sacrificing their meals for their children. There are mothers who are the little leftovers that they get from the neighbors. They have to choose between perhaps 6 kids, which 3 of the 6 kids they can feed from the leftovers that they're receiving. That's the reality of the situation of Afghanistan. With regards to the water situation, when the elderly are drawing the surface water of sewage and using that for their consumption, how is it right in today's day and age, in the 21st century? Perhaps you and I, Sister Julie, if we want water, we have options. What type of water we want? Hot, cold, still, sparkling, lemon, whatever it is. Yeah, they're drawing the sewage water and boiling that for their consumption. How is it still right that we know a situation like that exists and we do nothing? That's why the importance of empowerment projects like boreholes across Afghanistan is also needed.
Dr. Muin Sali, over to you. Can you elaborate on the assistance provided by AMA in response to the earthquake?
So, upon visiting the earthquake zone, we identified that immediately people needed food, and that was the assistance that was rendered to the people in the form of hot meals and in the form of hampers, which had things like flour and oil, something that could last for a few weeks, maybe a month. Also, very urgently required in those areas is shelter. So there is a project that's in the process, and with the upcoming winter, there is something that is very urgently required, is to provide warmth and shelter for these people.
Hassan, this undoubtedly is not a situation of flying in and flying out. This is an ongoing project, and it's not only, as Doctor has said, you need to give out hampers, but that's not clearly it's not enough. You do need to upskill these people so that when you do pull out and go to another disaster area, they are able to fend for themselves. What do the projects look like that you guys are working on? Hassan?
Well, as you correctly mentioned, Sister Julie, yes, it's not just about coming into Afghanistan. Alhamdulillah, we have a permanent base here. We have teams like Brother Emalia and the rest of the office staff who conduct various projects, campaigns, and see to families every single day and every single month, made possible through the generosity of donors. Alhamdulillah, yesterday we had a very joyous atmosphere. We had over 200 orphan children sponsored by donors of Africa Muslims Agency present here to receive their normal monthly benefit and to have a festive occasion for them. So the projects and campaign carry on long after we have left with the team on the ground. Alhamdulillah, the campaigns, the Bread of Hope project, we spoke about the bakeries, which serve as an empowerment for those who work in the bakery. So those who have means would come to a bakery, purchase bread, and that'll be a source of income for those who work in the bakery, and also providing free bread to identified orphan and widow families across Afghanistan. We have the bowls. Alhamdulillah, we opened a number of more bowls this past week, where it brings benefit to the villages. And like I just mentioned, one challenge where people are drawing the wastewater, contaminated water for their consumption. The boreholes bring dignity. To answer your question, Sister Julie, it's not just about the food parcel. It goes beyond it. It's about bringing the dignity to the homes. It's bringing smiles and allowing these children to be kids and to dream and to have vision and to have a drive and to have aspirations in a home. Not just about the food parcel or the clothes on the back. To talk about Herat province, and so many mothers told us the clothes on the back is the only clothes they have. Obviously, we're giving them the food parcels and the aid, but it's not just about giving them food and clothing, but bringing a sort of normality back to their life so they can progress, inshallah.
Hassan, you guys at Africa Muslim Agencies have talked long about the upskill projects that you not only introduced in Afghanistan, but in any area and region that you work in. Like I indicated earlier on, it's not just a matter of dropping off a food parcel and then leaving. You do ongoing work with the people on the ground so that if and when you do have to leave, you are comforted in the knowledge that the people will be able to fend for themselves. And before you respond to that question, I see a third brother as part of the team in the visuals. Can he identify himself and what is his role on the ground there in Afghanistan?
So this is Brother Imal from our team here in Afghanistan, and he'll introduce himself and share with you, inshallah, what he does for us in Afghanistan.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm good, thank you.
I'm Emal Rasuli. I am responsible for construction projects here in Afghanistan with Africa Muslims Agency in Kabul, Afghanistan.
Okay, the volume there was very, very low. Hassan, can you just perhaps add on to what he was trying to tell me? And then any closing comments from all three of you, we can take those and then wrap up on the interview for this morning.
So Brother Imal Rasuli, one of the team members, one of the core team members of Africa Muslims Agency with us on my left-hand side is also another Brother Imal, one of also our core team members of AMA here in Afghanistan, and he's part of the construction department. And we have Brother Omar behind the camera there, alhamdulillah. So Brother Imal was talking about the construction and he's in that space. Obviously, in terms of, you're looking at boreholes, you're looking at building projects, you look at empowerment of villages, you look at empowerment of families, and that forms part of that department, alhamdulillah. In closing, Sister Julie, obviously thanking Salam Media for the time and opportunity to raise the awareness of the plight of people in Afghanistan. Yes, alhamdulillah, through the generosity of donors over the past number of years, it has certainly made a difference to the people on the ground, like these beautiful children here have seen the impact, have witnessed the impact. But also there's still a massive need on the ground in Afghanistan. And as we go into the winter months, I cannot stress, and like Doctor mentioned, as you go into the winter months, the mothers fear for the cold for the children, and the children fear for the grannies and for the elderly people. There's still a massive need in terms of bringing dignity on the ground, inshallah. But I'd like to thank the donors for their support. And long after we leave, there's still a team that's functioning, that's active day to day, alhamdulillah, in bringing the smiles to the people of Afghanistan. I'm going to hand over to Dr. Mu'in for his closing remarks, and then Brother Imal, inshallah.
And Dr. Moeen, before you respond, the winters there are severely cold, unlike the winters in South Africa, much colder than South Africa, is it not?
It is, especially out in the rural areas, in the mountains and in the valleys of Herat province, where the earthquake was at its most severe. We are told that the winters get bitterly cold. We ended up staying there till about Maghrib time, the one evening, and you could already feel that, you know, the cold was already starting, and it becomes quite windy there at night. So yes, it's bitterly cold out in the mountain area, more so than actually in Kabul city.
Closing thoughts from you?
So what I've witnessed is that whatever contributions are forwarded from our donors, it makes a huge difference. However, the need in Afghanistan is massive. But instead of getting like paralyzed by how big the need is, I think we have to just identify projects and try to do whatever we can. And inshallah, it just snowballs from there and it touches many, many, many lives. And grants hope and dignity to the number of orphans in Afghanistan is huge. The Orphan Hope Project already is covering quite a number of these kids, but the room for growth is almost limitless. I mean, there's just so many needed kids in this country.
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you guys for your efforts. May you go from strength to strength. Continue touching lives in such a positive way. And quickly, if one of you can tell us how we can make a very meaningful contribution to this amazing work that you guys at Africa Muslim Agencies are carrying out, not only in Afghanistan, but all around areas, all around the world where there is a need. You guys seem to be first on the ground.
Okay. Sorry about that. So
no problem.
All the projects on the Africa Muslim Agency website at www.africamuslimagency.co.za, Facebook page and Instagram. So you can follow all of these platforms to get more information or contact any of the officers in the areas that you are in. And the people in the office will be more than happy to share with you all the ongoing projects.
Okay, let me leave you guys. Those poor kids must be quite impatient to get going. They've been so good standing still throughout the interview. I hope you've got some sweeties to reward them with. But thank you indeed. It's been wonderful talking to you guys yet again. Allah accept all your efforts. Go well and please keep safe. Assalamu alaikum. That was Africa Muslim Agencies talking to us on the ground from Afghanistan with all of those orphan children. And I thought that was a pretty unique interview, seeing those children standing so still and so attentively listening to possibly in a language they don't understand, but knowing that whatever was being discussed was pretty important and probably pretty important as regards their own lives and their future, inshallah. So please do dig deep into your hearts and your pockets and make a meaningful difference. It is exactly 9:35. News and views on Salam Media. And next we are going to be talking with psychologist Zahira Singh. She is accredited with the British Psychological Society and also accredited counselor and director of Tough Love South Africa.